People who don't put their shopping carts away after you put your groceries in your car. Why? Big pet peeve of mine, but I do have the first real answer. My mother walks slowly with a cane and, deservedly so, has a handicap parking pass. She wants a cart when she gets out of her car because it makes it easy to walk for her. My mother thinks all handicapped people want a cart right there in the handicapped parking zone, so she leaves it when she is done. I have told her wheelchair people and others don't need that cart there and it can get in their way, but she is convinced she is doing the right thing. As a guy who doesn't walk so well, severe balance issues, who doesn't have a handicap sticker, I can believe this. If I can, I park next to the cart corral, but if I can't, I grab the nearest cart I can find and will leave it close to my car when done. Pro tip: always park near the cart return. Makes it easy to remember where you parked, and you don't have to walk far to return the cart. And I still see people put the carts in an empty spot next to where the carts go. I always offer parents of young children if they want me to put their trolley away for them because I don't feel right about them leaving kids alone in the car. Besides that, I don't know. I wish there were more people like you. I usually park where the cart corral is so I can put the cart away without leaving my small kids alone. Today, because of holiday shopping, I had to park in the overflow parking lot where there wasn't any corrals. I had to leave my kids while I quickly ran the carts to the closet median in the lot so it wasn't just rolling around loose and run back to my kids. I recall seeing this asked before, with one reply to it being a store employee who liked it when people wouldn't bother with putting them away. This person reasoned that it gave him a reason to not be in the store dealing with people and they enjoyed being outside getting exercise. The thing is, putting carts away is one of those very rare acts that is respectful to the other customers, not the employees. I see this point a lot, but rogue carts are a nuisance at best and dangerous at worst when driving around a parking lot. In some grocery stores in Canada you have to use a dollar coin, loonie, to check out a shopping cart. That gives people incentive to return it properly once they're done. I think the system works pretty well. Don't know if it would work in America since you don't have dollar coins. In America some stores use quarters for their carts. This helps a lot. I have noticed on rainy days that people don't put them back though. I always return my cart to a corral, and I often offer to take someone's cart into the store on the way in. One thing I don't understand though is why there are no corrals near the front of the parking row near handicapped parking. Those people have to leave the cart by their car, walk it back across to the store or further down the road to get to a corral. Very inconvenient for a handicapped person. I live near a Walmart and they have corrals like every 50 feet or so and they start near the handicapped spots. Yet I still see loose carts all over the place. Because I have multiple sclerosis and I spend too long shopping and it's all I can do to put one leg in front of the other while still remaining upright. I want to remain mobile for as long as possible, so don't want to start using wheelchair before I have to. Sometimes I put my walker in my cart to return the cart and then use my walker to get back to my car. Other times I ask someone walking into the store if they can take my cart for me, but in the days of COVID, I'm not sure if people are comfortable with that. I try not to do it often, but it has happened once or twice and it bothers me for the rest of the day. A lot of times staff at the store will help you unload groceries into your car. They'll take the cart back for you too. It's part of their job, so don't feel bad for asking. If nobody can do it, then just manage the best you can. I have MS too. I feel you on wanting to maintain mobility and independence. Searing arthritis pain that started in my 30s. I put it somewhere safe. I was always the person who picked up people's trash and put their carts away. It's not always what you think. Finally, someone who actually answered the question. Sorry about your arthritis, that sounds like heck. The grocery store I shop at employs a now homeless guy to retrieve carts and pays him by the cart. He's a super nice guy with some serious psych issues. It's a little thing to help him, but it mostly makes him feel useful. This is why we should adopt the cart for $1 thing here in the US. At least then lazy buttholes would be unintentionally donating to the homeless. Because I give it to someone walking in. Saves me a trip back to the front of the store and saves them having to fish out a coin, unless they already have one in hand and trade me. That is an acceptable excuse. Honestly, as someone who basked carts for a few years, if you parked closer to the store 9 times out of 10 it's easier if you just leave it near the curb. Not only does it encourage customers to just use that cart, but it saves us a trip all the way out to the corral. Now if you are parked out past the corral far from the store because you like the exercise and you leave it there, then you are a genuine cocksmoker and deserve a paper cut on your urethra. The only time I wouldn't return my cart to a corral is when I had my infant grandchildren with me. Now they're old enough to be buckled in for a few seconds while I return the cart. I always felt bad for doing this when they were babies, so I intentionally will grab a couple carts from the lot and take them into the store when I go in to shop. Though I give a tiny bit of leeway to these people. BC, you never know who has an invisible disability and just had the bad luck not to be close to a return. I really like your answer. Some people are calling people who do this subhuman and entitled C without even ruling out the possibility that there's some actual reason for them to not return their carts. I suffer from lupus. Sometimes it takes all I have to make it through the grocery store, unload my groceries, and get back in my car. If I'm not feeling well, I will usually secure the cart nearby, on a grassy area, or resting against a pole. I try to do the right thing, but sometimes I just can't make it to the shopping cart corral, especially if it's a haul. Same here, different disease. Usually because an employee says, "Don't worry sir, I got that," as soon as I'm done loading them in my car. Publix is where it's at. Honestly, I will say that as former grocery store worker, collecting carts is the best part of the job. Great excuse to smoke a quick joint or otherwise just wander about aimlessly. Please don't put the carts back into the corrals. Because when I'm unable to park next to the cart return, I don't want to put my 3-year-old and 2-month in the car and walk away. There's too many creeps and anything can happen in a split second. The people that do this also tend to be the type to leave their table a mess when they go out to eat. The type to say, "Someone gets paid to do this, so what do I care?" Chances are they've never worked in retail grocery stores to know the pain in the butt that is doing carts. Or they're just a lazy piece of crap. I used to think it was the normal thing to do and that employees were supposed to bring them back. And then I saw cart narcs. Learned my lesson. Never again. I broke my ankle 5 years ago. I now have a disabled parking card at 34. I can go into the store feeling fine and come out crawling to my car. My ankle is bone on bone and feels earth-shattering at times. I sometimes just can't and hate it. I always try to take a cart in with me to make up for it. My ankle is so depressing to me. I usually put my cart away. When I don't, it's because I couldn't find a spot close to the return. I have a child under 2 and I'm pregnant. I usually buckle my little one in and put the cart back while he's still in eyesight. Otherwise I try to leave the cart out of the way. I always grab one from the parking lot. Reasons: people get out of your way and can hear you easily. Also, cars keep their distance. It's a little bit of exercise. Sometimes you can even get one from somebody who wants to put one away and you snatch it up and say thanks for warming it up. Probably the best reason is I live in Arizona and sunlight disinfects everything. You grab that handle, it's clean, baby. Because someone else will put it away for them. Same goes for people throwing trash on the ground and other inconsiderate C. I just picture the quintessential fat, lazy, dumb American, eating a churro, wearing basketball shorts and socks with sandals, leaving his cart, throwing the churro wrapper on the ground, farting, then driving off while texting. Before I got my handicap tag, I wouldn't always be able to find parking spots close to the store or near the shopping cart spots. It was a very rare occurrence, but I have had to leave the carts in a spot that wasn't meant for carts. Not in a parking spot, but if there's a spot that's either already occupied by other carts or a no parking zone that's not a loading zone, then I'll put it there. If I'm close enough to the sidewalk, but for whatever dumb reason the carts aren't kept near the front, then I'll put it on the sidewalk along the wall of the store. Glad I don't have to do that anymore. I always felt bad and would push myself to go the extra mile only to then struggle going back to the car. As soon as I found out it was a moral indicator, I've been trying to break the system. Sure, I'll put the cart back, but I'll put it sideways too. Or maybe I won't put it back, but I'll put it with another cart so it's no harder on the employees. This gets asked so often, And truly, I am a conscientious cart returner. But there is one grocery store nearby that has a large and busy parking lot and one cart return right outside the entrance to the store. Getting the cart back to the one rightful spot is like playing Frogger. So here's what I do. I either schlep my groceries from right outside the store, or I take the cart and then return it all the way across that busy parking lot that has no marked crosswalks. But one day, I swear, I'm gonna leave it out. On a day of snow, or torrential rain, or on a day when the pickup trucks are too numerous and too careless of pedestrian life, I'm gonna abandon that goddamn cart 250 meters from its rightful return spot. One cart corral is not enough. I saw something once that involved putting your cart away. Basically it's the measure of whether or not you are a good person. There isn't a rule that you have to return it. It's just a nice thing to do. If it's a long way to the cart corral and the weather is crap, I put it out of traffic and hang my hat on the fact that I always grab a stray, uncorralled cart on my way into the store, so there's no net addition of carts to the lot due to my visit. Typically I go to put mine away, then someone who's about to start their shopping offers to take it off my hands. If you ask teenage me, it would be because I'm stealing it for some fricked reason or another. I used to take the shopping cart all the way back inside the store, thinking that I was helping out the staff. Someone here asked me to stop doing this. They said that the more carts there are outside, the longer they can relax and be away from the BS inside. I now only return them to the cart holding areas or pass them off to others. When I arrive, I look for people who are finishing up loading their groceries and offer to take the cart off their hands. A store in my city has a big parking lot and the only cart corral is at the front of the store and there's carts all over the place. So when you get there, you grab the nearest one and when you leave, well, you just leave it there. The community understands it, LMAO. I have left my cart twice in my life. Once, I was very pregnant, dealing with preeclampsia, risky blood pressure problem, and straight up exhausted. I had been using the cart to lean on. The other time I had a newborn in 102-degree heat. My choices were to try to carry them in their car seat from the cart corral. Be advised against carrying anything heavier than the baby. Leave them in a 115-degree car, or abandon the cart. The last option was safest. I do think disabilities, illness and very young children can be exceptions. Although even with infants and toddlers I found ways to take my cart back. I saw some video about this. It's a test if you'll do the right thing even when there are no repercussions. Unfortunately, that's not enough incentive for some people. I hate to see a parking lot littered with shopping carts. And, for the record, I don't blame the establishment. I blame the patrons. I wish people would return their shopping carts back to the proper holding area, instead of just leaving them unrestrained in a parking lot, ultimately creating a hazard. Few excuses are really good here, but I think only the lazy people leave the cart and don't return the same, else people return the cart. I have two bulging discs that press on my sciatic. At any given moment I could be walking, doing my thing, then boom, my nerve is pinched and I almost fall to the floor. When I know that I'm feeling fine I'll go ahead and put it on the closest corral, but that doesn't happen every time. I'm also one of those people who will park in the handicap parking spot and walk off looking all healthy and normal like. It causes me anxiety that someone will harass me someday. This conversation frustrates me. As a former grocery store employee, I liked going to get carts fresh air. It got me away from dealing with customers. Also, technically leaving your cart creates more demand for work. Jobs are good. Can someone please explain to me why exactly leaving your cart is so terrible? I don't get it. I've come out of the store and there's been a cart that the wind has blown into my car. If it was where it belonged either in the store or at a cart corral, that wouldn't happen. I'm sure if you came out to a nice dent or scratch on your car from a stray cart that someone neglected to put away, you wouldn't be happy about it. The shopping cart is a great moral test. Lem gives some bullet points as to why. The act of putting the cart away takes very little effort. You gain nothing by doing it. Putting it away helps someone else. There are no consequences for you if you don't put it away. While it is obviously the right thing to do, it's surprising how many people don't. It costs you nothing more than a minute or so of your time. Putting your cart away benefits another person, the cart retrieve and by proxy other shoppers, and prevents clutter. In short, if you don't put the cart away you lack morals and will go to heck. If you do put the cart away you are a decent human being and deserve a cookie. Then you have people who go a step further and bring the empty cart back to the store, grabbing a few strays along the way, so the cart pusher has an easier day. I be tired after walking around the store. I'm lazy. I honestly left it for the person beside me who just pulled up could have a cart to push. I hate when people don't do that. Sometimes if I find one out in the middle of the lot I'll drive up to it, roll my window down, grab it and tow it back to the corrals. Then I'll put it away or use it while I shop. It's the classic problem of negative externalities. If I don't return my cart, I get 100% of the benefit for not returning it. However, of the problems leaving it unreturned creates, my share of responsibility is effectively reduced to 0%. At the same time, very few people want to return the carts they see someone else left unreturned, because the ratio of responsibility benefit is reversed. I love some of the excuses here. Just put the fricking cart back and stop being a lazy turd ball. That's it. There should be no rebuttal. I've worked retail, so I'm usually pretty respectful about this kind of thing. Exceptions. The store is crowded. I've had to park the equivalent of 2 city blocks away. I've waited in line for 30 minutes because I don't want to self-check the $200 worth of stuff in my cart. I get out to my car, unload, and see the closest cart corral is at least the distance back to the store. Yep, that cart is getting parked on the median and I do not give one frick. Lazy. When I was younger I didn't give a crap, of course. Now I either put it in the corral or if I see the employee collecting the carts I give it to them. I only do that if I am in a lot of pain and had to park far away. Some days just getting to the store and grabbing 1 or 2 necessary things takes everything I have. So I do the best I can, but sometimes I just can't get the cart back too. I feel bad about it, but some days I just have to be content with I got those 1 or 2 things and got back home. This is legit not an issue in Germany or Europe, I guess. Like, I have never seen carts just left on the parking lot in my life. Sometimes people steal the carts, but nobody just leaves them in the lot. Because we kunnen unspannen. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.